Hey guys, welcome back to the YouTube channel. Today we're going to be taking a look at this new MagSafe battery pack from Benks and see if it's worth the £30 price tag it carries. So first, unboxing the thing. And like magic, back a week later, just after having tested this thing. Now on the website you get a choice of 4 colours from black, navy blue, white and light blue. And I've gone for the white one. I think it's the most clean and minimal, and it also mimics Apple's own official MagSafe battery pack. So taking a look at this thing, the first thing I'm noticing is how ridiculously thin and light this thing is. I think a lot of us have this expectation that battery packs inherently have to be this bulky piece of plastic that takes up a lot of space. But you can see here that this thing is incredibly portable. For reference, here is a 5000 milliamp battery pack from Anker that I used to carry around. And you can see here, there's a huge difference in portability. I can see myself taking this thing on the go with me a lot. Like, let's say if my phone's on low charge, but I need to head out and I don't have enough time to charge it, then I can just pop this thing into my pocket and it won't feel like I'm carrying anything. And for those of you who are interested, this thing does weigh, I think, about 120 grams last time I checked it. So, pretty light. You can also see here that it comes with a USB-C port and, I believe somewhere in the box, comes with the cable as well, USB-C to USB-C. It's a pretty short cable, but it does the trick. And actually, this is one of the reasons I went for this over Apple's official MagSafe battery pack, because Apple's version comes with a lightning port. Now, that will probably change in October when they release the iPhone 15 series with USB-C, but until then, I think this is the best alternative that matches the Apple battery pack sleek minimal design. Another thing to note is that on the box it actually refers to magnetic wireless charging as opposed to MagSafe. And what this means is, you can see here you've got the standard MagSafe rings. So if I get my iPhone here and I stick it onto the back, and there's usually a button as well you need to press to actually charge this thing. You can see here that the iPhone is registering this as a standard charger, as opposed to a MagSafe charger, which would give you that sort of circular graphic animation in the center. Does that make much of a difference? Not really, but it's something to bear in mind that this is technically not officially MagSafe. It's just wireless charging with magnetic coils, and therefore it does the same job as MagSafe, which means that I can just stick this thing onto the back of my iPhone 14 Pro, press the charging button to activate it, and then carry it around with me very easily. It's very easy to take with you on the go, for those long day trips where you're probably not going to be able to get away with lasting the entire day on a single charge. And you're going to need a little bit of extra juice to get you through the entire day. As far as tech specs go, this thing is technically 5000 milliamp hours, but it's rated at 3000, which basically means that 3000 milliamps is the actual amount of charge you're going to get, taking into account things like heat loss. Which means this thing could in theory charge an iPhone 14 Pro, which has a battery size of about 3200 milliamp hours, to about 90%-ish, give or take. And it would be charging the iPhone at a maximum output of 7.5 watts, which incidentally is the same as Apple's own battery pack. Now obviously things like the iPhone's current battery level and heat will affect the output, so you're not always going to give that 7.5 watts, but that's the max it goes to, which does mean it's not going to charge your phone ridiculously fast. However, that's not how these battery packs are designed to be used. Now, I'll link a video in the description by a guy called TechnicallyTee explaining this in more detail. But essentially, the mistake most people will make with these battery packs is they'll let their phone die first before they use the pack. And of course, by that time, the phone is basically unusable because the battery's dead. And because this thing charges at like 7.5 watts, it will take a while to charge back up. So the way you actually want to use this is when your phone is charged at about 90% or so, you want to pop this thing on the back and then start using it as normal. It's thin enough to carry around. You can just use your phone as you normally would do. And then that way your phone will be charging throughout the day and it'll actually be sucking juice out of the battery pack first before your phone. Meaning that if you start the day at 7 AM, the battery pack will probably die at about 3 PM in the afternoon. At which point half of the day has already gone and your phone is still at 80 to 90%. And it's at that point that you can take this thing off when it's dead, throw it in your pocket or your backpack and begin to use your phone as normal with an 80% charge. Now, taking a look at things I dislike about this product, Honestly, at first sight, there really isn't much I dislike about it. I mean, sure, if you're going on a camping trip over the entire weekend and you don't have access to a charger, this battery pack probably isn't going to be enough. You'd probably want to go for something bigger like this. But that's not what this pack is designed to do. Its purpose is to give you that sort of extra oomph in battery life when you need it to help you make it to the end of a long day. I'd say the main disadvantage you'll get with this, if you're comparing it to Apple's battery pack, is that this doesn't come with the same software benefits that the Apple pack does. So with the official battery pack, you get a battery widget on your phone, whereas for this, you have to sort of just check the lights at the bottom here. So that tells you that this pack is at about 100%, which to be honest, isn't that big of a deal, but hey, it's something to be aware of. I think what's more interesting is that Apple's MagSafe Battery Pack comes with a built-in charging software optimization, which means that the battery pack will, as often as possible, try its best not to charge the iPhone past 80% unless you explicitly tell it to. And it also regulates heat a lot better by changing how many watts of output you get, which in theory over the long run should help to preserve your battery life. This Benks pack, on the other hand, doesn't do that. So realistically, once your battery hits 80 or 90%, you often have to press the button to stop this thing from charging or take it off, which, you know, that might be what causes you to go for Apple's official pack. But bearing in mind, you will have to be paying triple for that privilege, and you'll also be getting Lightning, not USB-C. And the final dislike I have about this is, I don't know if you can tell, but this finger's been getting quite dirty. I've only been using this for a week. Haven't really placed it in many awkward positions. Literally all it's done is spent most of the time on the back of my phone, if I'm being totally honest. And you can see here that, you know, you kind of don't know if it's possible to clean this with water, but yeah, it's a bit dirty. The back's fine, and realistically no one's going to see this, but it's something to bear in mind. So to wrap this up, do I think this product is worth a buy? I think so. On first impressions, it's light, it's sleek, compact, minimal, and looks almost identical to Apple's official MagSafe battery pack. And it's probably the closest comparison I've seen. Obviously, I'd have to do some more thorough testing, about a month, just to see how it stacks up. But considering you can get one of these things for £30 or so, you may as well just grab it if you're thinking of buying a portable charger, but you don't want to fork out the insane £90 Apple chargers. So that concludes today's video. You can click here to see my latest videos, and I'll see you in the next one.